Once upon a time, not too long ago, unlike most fairy tales, there were three sisters who were educated by a family member at home. This is called being homeschooled. Their names are Clea Bonning, Audric Bonning, and Samara Bonning. Clea is the oldest. She is 1 year older than Audrica. Audrica was the second oldest and 2 years older than Samara. The girls live with their mum and dad in the United States of America in Colorado on a mountain. Their mother's ancestors, among others in their district, were of Greek descent. Their district also had many Italian nymphs and nymphos, since Greece and Italy are where nymphs and nymphos first lived. Mountain nymphs and nymphos. Male nymphs need to live near mountains, so Colorado was a place they often gathered to. The mother of Clea, Audrica, and Samara is named Ida. She is an Oread, also known as mountain nymph. Her dad is a human named Christos. Like Ida, her daughters were all mountain nymphs too. Since they took after their mother, it was easy for her to teach them what they needed to know. Their mother taught them basic academics. She also taught them their ancestors' native language, Greek. She taught them how to read, write, spell, grammar, and how to speak Greek. She also taught them ceramics, painting, and gardening. Most nymphs and nymphos learn how to do these things at public school. However, Ida knew better than to have strangers teach her child how to do anything. As soon as they were old enough to learn about their nymph ways, their mother began to teach them. For years, baby Samara watched her sisters practice with their mother, Ida. However, she was in her dad's arms watching, or in playpen watching. Samara sometimes showed interest in what they did. Not surprisingly, most of the time, she did not. Most of the time, Samara did not pay attention because she was too young to understand what they were doing or how important it was. However, her parents did not worry about her lack of interest. Soon the day came when Samara was 4, Audrica was 6, and Clea was 7. 4 is the age when nymphs and nymphos begin to learn the things they need to know. The day of Samara's first lesson began. Her mother found Samara running around the house. She picked Samara up and said, "Well, are you ready for your first lesson?" Samara said no. Ida laughed because she knew Samara was too young to understand what she was talking about. Ida said more to herself, "You don't even know what you are saying no to." Samara was in her arms but not listening. 2 older sisters walked outside with their mother. Then Ida put Samara down. Samara began to run around. Ida said, already knowing how a 4-year-old would answer, "Do you want to learn how to use your powers? Won't that be fun?" Samara said no. Ida said to Samara, as if she were capable of having a conversation, "Okay, we are going to learn how to use your powers today." Samara was not listening to her mother as she spoke to her. Odric said, "What is going on?" Their dad said, "Samara is having her first lesson today." Clea and Odrica were surprised because they had never seen their parents try to teach Samara anything. They already forgot that they started learning about their nymph ways when they were 4 or so. Ida said, "Samara watched Mummy." The toddler watched. Her mother began to push her hand onto the mountain. Snow travelled up her arm. She pulled her hand off and the snow fell on the ground. Samara thought that was cool. She clapped. Her mother said, "Do you want to try, my love?" Samara put her hand flat on the mountain. Snow travelled up her arm. She instantly felt the cold, and she pulled her hand off and began to cry. Ida picked up her crying child. She said, "You may not like it now, but that is how nymphs control hot flashes." She handed the crying toddler to her husband. Her dad held her while her mother began working with her sisters. Odrica said, "What is wrong with Samara? Why is she crying? We do this all the time." The parents knew that Odrica was mentally underdeveloped, so Ida replied at her level. She said this is Samara's first time. She was not ready for all that cold snow to go up her arm. It shocked her. Odrica hesitated for a moment and then said, "Okay." Then they continued their lesson. They made snow travel up their arms. After a little bit, Samara stopped crying. Her sisters were doing well at making snow travel up their arms. Then her mother began to show them how to cure their voice if it was hurt. Ida began to sing a long note at her lowest pitch, but then she sang a note in her medium pitch, but then she sang a note in her highest pitch. All 3 pitches went into the mountains. Then she blew a low note into the straw. Then she blew a medium note into the straw. Then she blew a high note into the straw. Clea and Odrica clapped. Then they did as their mother did. Clea and Odrica did well at imitating their mother's actions. Amara watched her mother and sisters perform miracles. However, she was too young to understand why they were doing what they were doing. She got restless in her dad's arms. Therefore, he said, "Ida, Samara is getting bored. I think we should take her inside." Ida nodded. She said, "Okay, girls, that is enough for today." The two girls followed their mum and dad into the house. Samara was less restless now that she was back inside. Her dad placed her on the floor, then he walked away. Samara ran around the house as she knew and loved. After a while, the family went to bed and said their prayers, then they all went to sleep. As time went on, they learned more about their nymph ways. Things stayed the same for the family for a long time. However, things took an unfortunate turn. All started with Clear was 23, Odika was 22, Samara was 20. However, nymphs and nymphos live longer than humans and stay with their parents longer. Therefore, they had less mental maturity than a human that was the same age as them. Ida was teaching her daughters the current history of the nymphs and nymphos. She said, "Our queen's name is Hera, our king's name is Zeus." Ida tried to think of how to put this. Then she said that they are not very good at their jobs. Clea asked, "What did they do?" Ida said that they passed legislation that stops all their subjects from drilling for oil. They want us to buy it off of other countries. The youngest, Samara, said, "That makes it more expensive." Ida said, "Lo, you are smarter than most fully developed nymphs and nymphos." Samara was happy to hear that, so she said, "Thank you, Mum." Ida smiled and said, "You are welcome." Then her mother remembered something. She said, "That is enough history for today. We need to go get some essentials." The girls got up and went to their room. They got ready to go. Then the daughters went with their mother to go get some essentials. They walked a long way to Connor's place. Ida knocked on the door. Cullen answered. She said, "Yes." "Oh, hello, Ida. How are you doing?" Ida said, "We are all doing well." The mother and daughters all went in. Once they were in, they began to collect the things they needed. Samara said, "Look at this, Mum." And her mother looked as she continued speaking. "The straw glows in the dark. If you would ever lose your straw while you are trying to cure your voice, you could find it in the dark." Her mother almost said something. And Samara said, "Can we all get one, please?" Her mother thought for a second. Then she said, "Sure." Samara said, "All right." Each of the homeschoolers chooses their own straw. Their mother got herself one too. Clea said, "Thank you, Mum." And the other two sisters followed her example. "Thank you, Mum," they said. Their mother said, "You are all welcome." Samara began to talk to her sisters as they shopped. She constantly picked up things off the shelf and said, "Look at this. Ooh, isn't this cool?" Amara said, "Oh, look, the new Dolly movie is coming out. Look." Her sisters and mother looked. The two older sisters whispered, "Oh, that is great." And Ida thought, "I wish Samara was a little quieter when we shop." After they got everything they needed, their mother took all the things they needed and sat them on the counter. And Kona said, "I will take 2 strawberries and 4 kiwis and 1 cucumber." Their mother gave her all she asked for. Kona said, "It is a pleasure doing business with you. Come again soon." Ida said, "Thank you." Kona said, "You are welcome." Soon they all began to walk home. All the girls placed their new straws in their own purses once they were home. Then the girls played together for a while, and they all went to bed and said their prayers. Samara lay there and thought about Colina's house and all the cool things she traded for food. She thought, why have we never tried to open a store? Well, there is all kinds of free inventory here where the nymphs and nymphos reside. We could become rich. That would be nice. I wonder if Mum and Dad have ever thought of that before. After a long time of thinking, she fell asleep.